How are you?
We're doing great.
Never gets old.
I can't even.
How are you?
We're doing great. Uh-oh. Somebody, I'm hearing myself back again.
How are you?
We're doing great. Uh-oh. Somebody, I'm hearing myself back again.
How are you?
Ah, it's Mitch. There we go. We'll
There
bring
we
you back up, Mitch, once you get it figured out what's going on. Woo! I was getting worried there. Once you get it figured out what's going on. Nope, he hadn't figured it out yet. We'll get you back up, Mitch. Just wave at us when we quit. Whatever we're doing there. Welcome in, everybody. We've got two mega unboxings this evening, which means we need everybody to upvote. Everybody needs to upvote because we got two mega unboxings. We have one from our man Mitch, who is that right down there. And we've got one from our man Mark, who is right down there. That's it. I don't have any damn unboxing. I'm poor. Except I'll probably have one in a couple of weeks. Well, anyway, glad that you guys are here. We want you to hit that upvote early and often. Break out the troll accounts. Let's get them going. And we'll start it off here with what's on the wrist tonight. So let me bring Mitch back in here. I think we've got our problem solved. Yes, and we'll start with you. If you have anything on the wrist,
yes,
you may be saving it.
I am wearing once again my Aldershorn imaginary vintage Type 10 in a lovely green with the strangely offset registers. It's a mono pusher. It's fun, and it isn't outrageously expensive, but it isn't Seiko priced either.
Yeah,
Nice.
I would bet. Yeah, that's really nice. I love that watch, Mitch. Good one. Mark, what's on the? I know what's on the wrist tonight, but show us anyway.
It is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 41.
Oh no, Rolex has killed our Omega Man.
Oh my God, what happened?
Oh, congratulations on that again. We'll just wait till you see what he's got. Oh my good Lord, folks. Get those upvotes in. It's awesome. Both of them are going to be mega. And we've got Genji in the house. What's the stack today?
Stack is Galaxy bracelet, Love bracelet, Just to Include bracelet.
Cool. And what's the watch?
And the watch is
the UG.
Universal Jam.
UG with the really cool dial.
Yeah, I love that watch. Fantastic. Speaking of the person who gave you most of that watch, Blake Ray, he is visiting with his mom tonight, so he's not going to be here. But let me show you. In honor of Speedy Tuesday, I'm wearing the bull of a lunar pilot.
Nice. That's right. Be the rebel.
That's right. Which I really love this watch. It is one of my most legible watches simply because of its size. Because it's a 45 millimeter watch with about a 43 millimeter face. It's huge. And you can read it from across the room. And I love this watch. Fantastic. Fantastic movement, everything else. Really like it. So our topic tonight is Grail watches. What is your Grail watch, or do they even exist? So we'll talk about that coming up. We want to hear from you guys in the chat what your Grail watch is, or if you think that they exist at all. We've got Burbing Heart tonight. Welcome, Burbs. Let's go upvote early, guys. Absolutely, because we've got some fantastic watches tonight that are being unboxed, but they won't be unboxed without your upvotes. Van Lux, my dream watch is the Jacob & Co. Bugatti watch.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You know, it's actually a cool, people can't stand Jacob and Co. and stuff. I kind of think that's a cool watch, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how they.
We've got the Ducky in the house. Hey guys, we've got Caliber YQG unboxings. That's right. That's right. And they're biggies. We've got Liberty Spot. Mark went to sleep and the crown came out of the pea pod. Uh-oh. The crown has grabbed his soul.
I know, right?
13 long years I was away from the crown.
But the crown always drags you back in.
Still,
We've got JD in. Greetings. Yes, sir, Mr. Mitch.
I was going to say that sounded, your dialogue with Mark there sounded like the lost chapter from the Homer's Odyssey on the island.
Dante's Inferno.
We've got Bubba Hotep in the house. 2 mega unboxings. You guys are crazy on the Tuesday show. Let me tell you, we're more than crazy on the Tuesday show. We're crazy all the time. Thank you, Bubba, for being in tonight. We've got Kevin from Lakeland, Florida. Good evening, Kevin. Glad that you're here. Julius Caesar in the house. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir. Glad that you're here. White gold Rolex Pepsi from JD. It's a beautiful watch, man. Absolutely beautiful watch.
Yeah.
We got wristwatch Holic in. My Grail watch is a Patek Philippe minute repeater.
Oh gosh, that was amazing.
Yeah, no joke.
Expensive.
Yep. Julius Caesar Grail watch would be a reissued LU Chopard 1860 yellow or red gold with a caliber 96. Another fantastic pick. You guys have great taste tonight.
Yeah.
We've got our first super chat of the evening from Liberty Spot. PSA, you can't get rid of the crown with a penicillin shot. Oh, my. Liberty Spot, you're the first person in on the race this evening. And I will get that list started with you if you want to be on the race, on the race this evening. We welcome your super chats, member milestone chats. You can join the channel as well. And that will also get you into the WhatsApp group. And,
where the real epic unboxings are.
Yeah.
Bubba Hotep is the king of
Yes.
WhatsApp unboxings.
He is
Y'all
the
are
king.
missing out, man.
And
He had one today that was insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we invite you to join the channel. It's the same amount per month as Liberty Spot just super chatted.
There you
Bronze level is $4.99 a month. Silver level, which is where I am, is $9.99 a month. And then there's I think there's a gold level and a platinum level, and I have no idea what those levels are. But any level gets you in the WhatsApp group. So
JJ's
even the
mom
$4.99
makes you
a month.
meatloaf if you go to the platinum level.
I think that's it. Yeah. We've got Ghost of Yiddish Gambino. Hey, watch people. Glad to have you here.
Come
Jump
hang out
on,
with us,
man, if you're not
Gambino.
busy.
I know, man. We miss you.
Jump on if you're not busy. And we've got Mr. GMT, the sexy man himself. Let's go unboxing, baby. Stay sexy.
He had a cool unboxing. His
No
beautiful white
joke.
Speedy for his
No
birthday.
joke. That was fantastic. And I still wish him congratulations on that watch. That watch is fantastic. Seen it in person. It's just beautiful.
Saw it today.
Yeah. Were you at the? Oh, yes, you were at the store, weren't you?
How was it?
Because you were picking some up. My Grail is a 68 millimeter purple Invicta. Well, congratulations, Yiddish. You already have it.
He's attained nirvana.
Yes. Ma, meatloaf. Absolutely. And remember, don't let your meat loaf. So
Some people spend hundreds of thousands, even millions on their Grail. But Gambino, no. He gets his plus 4 other watches for $10.
That's right.
That's a Grail.
That is a Grail. You can get a whole watch collection for $20.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
Buy one, get 7 free.
Well, we're glad that all of you are in this evening. Again, super chat us, get into the race this evening, join the channel, member milestone chat, and all of that good kind of stuff like that there. We'll pick a couple of free entries at the end just to make it fun. So let's start with the panel's Grail watches, or do they actually believe there is such a thing? We'll start with you, Jen, because I know what your Grail watch is. Well, at
Okay.
least one of them. But tell us what your Grail watch is, and I'll pull it up.
Okay, so to make it easy, my definition of a grail is the watch that you just love. Like no other watch beats that watch for you. Price doesn't matter. It's your favorite watch. It doesn't stop you from collecting after that because Robin and I were talking about that. Like if it would be the final watch that you buy. But it is your favorite watch, hands down. You'll never get rid of it because it's that good. For me, the Bel Canto is my attainable grail. It is a fantastic watch. It comes in a bazillion different colors, which I love. And it comes in 2 different dial designs where you can get a guilloche dial or you can get the sunburst. They do have a special edition adventuring dial that they released for a club. But they have some different colors that you can get. The red is great, the blue is great, purple, the green, all of them. They're fantastic. And it makes noise. Like how cool is that? So that is my attainable grail. It reminds me of the LM 101 from MB&F. Also the Evo. So that's kind of why I love it so much. That's my unattainable grail. Unless I marry a very, very rich person or come into some money somehow, that will have to be a dream. The Bel Canto is definitely something I can attain.
There you go. It's a beautiful watch.
Yeah, I like it. I love it too. I think it's fantastic. I wouldn't mind having one of these days. It's a cool watch. I think it's certainly one of the coolest things Christopher Ward has done and will do. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the new one that they just put out, but I am a big fan of the Bel Canto. Yeah, the loco, but I am a big fan of the Bel Canto. I think it's awesome. Very cool. So let's catch up on chat here, and then we'll go to our man Mitch next and see what his grail is, or does he believe in it? Let's see. We got Nerd with Swag in this evening. Hello, Robert, Mitch, Jen. Hey, man, we're glad to see you. And of course, Mark's not here. No, we're just messing with you. We've got Respectably Late, who is respectably late. The next grail, a 2-tone Cartier Santos, hopefully an available grail for my wedding next year. Very nice.
Nice.
First of all, congratulations, or I'm sorry, depending on which side of the fence you lean on. And I'm very happy for you. And I like the way you said that, the next grail.
Mm-hmm.
So remember that when I get to my discussion. John D is with us. I'm not sure if it's okay to have varying definitions of what a grail watch should be. There is a difference between a grail and your favorite, but they can be one and the same. So that's kind of what Jen is saying. I'm going to come from a different angle in a minute. So we'll see. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. Let's put it that way. A grail watch, what it means to you is really the only thing that's important. Just like what your grail watch is the only thing that's important, what it means to you and not what it means to everybody else. Ducky, I would put forth a discussion topic. Once you own a grail watch, do you actually lose interest or feel like chasing other watches? Should you get your grail? Interesting. We'll talk about that too.
I'm an addict. I can stop anytime I want. That should answer that question for you.
Hello, my name is Lucha.
As Mari would say, the results are in and you're lying.
I am not the father of that.
You are. That's right. You are not the father. So, Mr. Mitch,
Yes.
do you have a Grail or do you believe in them?
Well, it depends. We're talking about Orthodox Grail, conservative Grail, or Reform Grail. These very, very sensitive subjects. But, I don't think there is ever really a Grail in terms of if you got the watch, you would never buy another watch again. I don't think that exists. I think the reason why people stop collecting watches, probably the most prevalent one, is they run out of money, or there's an emergency where they'd rather stay married or pay their mortgage and stuff like that. But to sort of voluntarily say, I'm going to stop collecting watches, I don't think I've ever heard of a scientifically verified case of that. So, but that being said, I look at Grails as sort of major intermediate stepping stones where after you attain that level of watch, you may continue on that level or slow down a little bit, but you're not just going to stop. And in my case, for sort of a Grail that I could eventually afford, with or without, although now with trading in or selling other watches, would be the JLC Reverso Tribute Chronograph. The first time I saw that watch, I fell in love with it. And even if it may technically be a little small for me, I don't care. So, that's that one. Now, in terms of the one closer to what would definitely be unobtainium, I originally had actually decided on the Patek minute repeater, but somebody got there first tonight. So, with Grail B, which in my case is another JLC, but it's the Reverso Triptych. I don't even know if they even make any of those anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But that's wild.
That's the one that has the sky in the back, right? Where
Well,
it changes.
It's got three different watches.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them where they have the duo face, and then in the back part, they have the night sky, and that's wild.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
On the Reverso Tribute Chronograph, on one side is a chrono, and on the other side is a regular watch dial.
It's amazing how they make these, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a gorgeous piece. Oh, yes, on the wrist.
Yeah, there you go.
Putting his hand to his chin to think about all the money he just spent.
And all the money he lost in depreciation.
Yeah. What do you mean I just lost $8,000 walking out the door?
Gosh, that's such a great watch.
Yeah, it really is.
That's why I would never buy that piece new.
Yeah.
Unless I won the lottery.
Yeah, it's gorgeous though, man. Absolutely gorgeous. Love that watch. Love it, love it, love it. And you know what? I don't think that would be too small for you.
It may not
really
be.
Don't. No,
most Reversos are. I mean, I'm one of the only people, which is why they discontinued the model, the Reverso Squadra. I like it because it fit me just fine.
Ryan likes that watch, so you are not the only one. Yeah. He almost bought one. I had to talk him out of it.
What are you doing talking people? I thought you were talking people into buying stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to help people
Wow.
save them from themselves because, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the ghost of Guilloche Gambino. Hey, man.
Is that a red Guilloche Milgauss?
Yeah. How are you doing, buddy?
Long day at work.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So I'm guessing you're driving home at the moment.
No, I'm home, but don't have good functioning internet, so I'm just on a cell phone.
Oh, well, no problem,
Fair
man.
enough.
That
Yeah,
internet, you must be rich.
We don't really need to see you anyway.
At least you're not buying watches on your phone while you're driving.
Yeah.
Again.
Again. So I should ask you, Gambino, but I'll phrase it a little bit differently. Which Cartier Santos Dumont is your grail?
Okay.
No, actually,
So-
which watch is your grail for real?
I honestly, I've gotten to the point in collecting that I just don't think there is one.
That's fair.
Yep.
I just, every time that I've thought that, okay, that's my grail, if once I get that, you've reached the pinnacle, and while you may continue the hike, you've already reached the top of the mountain. But every time I get to that point, I realize there's more mountain. So I don't think that I'm ever going to have a grail. I got to recognize that. And there are plenty of watches that I want, but nothing that I just view as a grail. Because if it's something that I know that I'll never be able to get, some perpetual minute repeater, I don't know what. Well, it's doesn't feel like a grail because I know I'm never going to get it. And then everything that I realize I may wind up having the ability to get and actually get doesn't feel like a grail either.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
I can see
I don't
that.
know if that's being cynical or jaded, but I appreciate all of the watches that I wind up being able to get. I just don't view them as a grail.
Yep.
And by the way, for Mitch, that JLC Reverso chronograph is now trading well below retail. So you may be able to get that sooner than you think.
What's it running for right now?
So I think that the retail on the steel one's about 25,000. Maybe
Right.
it's probably gone up because everything has gone up 5 times this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I saw one trade within the last month for 18.5. So
Okay. I was wondering if they were about around there, like 20 to 18 to 20.
Yep, that's where the steel one is, and it is actually it's a good size watch too. It's not like one of the grand tie size. So go for it.
There you go.
Yeah. John D. adding to the discussion, a grail should have characteristics which place it in your mind as the most significant item in terms of its importance to you, as well as very, very hard to acquire. I can see that to a certain extent. Of course, if that was the case, then I've already got my grail. That would be my dad's Accutron, because it's probably the watch that's the most important to me because it was his, and you really can't get him anymore, not in the shape that this one's in, which is perfect and pristine, because I've made sure it stayed that way. But yeah, I mean, I can see your point there. I really can. We want to welcome in East Wind Farms joining us this evening. Welcome to you. Bubba Hotep, more wisdom. Grail watches are like spouses. You try a new one every few years, and then you die unsatisfied.
I got to explain that to my wife now. Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't take life advice from a dude that has a menagerie that's dead in his home.
The man literally has a goddamn hippopotamus on his wall.
He does. He
Yep.
does.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that one. But anyway.
I do too.
Yeah, I do too. That's kind of cool. Oh my goodness sakes. Yeah, Bubba, that was one of his unboxings today on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, Bubba's unboxings are, don't even try to guess what it's going to be.
No,
They're legendary, though. All of them are
legendary.
legendary.
Absolutely. I mean, I think I'm just at the point where he says he's going to have an unboxing. I'm just going to go animal, vegetable, or mineral.
Yeah, I know, right? Pretty
And
much.
one of these days he's going to say all three.
I still
Bubba,
think we need to get Bubba his own Discovery Channel show.
I know, right?
yeah. Of course, that I won't say what watch it was, but it reminded me of the watch that someone who is not here this evening got today, where the day on the day date was in German and said die,
Oh gosh.
which is what I said. Then when your wife finds out about that, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're gonna die.
Yeah, I'm definitely not getting that one. German language things that tell me to die is a little bit
we've got
too much on the nose.
Yeah, there you go. Mitch, it's $2 super chat DSM for Rolex addicts. Crowneria.
Facts.
Oh my goodness.
Totally based.
We'll add Mitch to the list this evening. If you guys want to get in on the race, you know how to do it. So hop on board. We also need as many likes as possible because we've got two major unboxings this evening, one from Mitch and one from our friend Mark. We've only got 22 upvotes so far. I know we can do a lot better than that. 48 of you watching, two big unboxings. Let's go. Get those upvotes moving.
Who is this Mark of which you speak? The only Mark I know is someone who said he wasn't going to be doing streaming anymore.
I know.
I know, right?
What happened to that guy?
Yeah, we drew
lies and rumors.
we drew him back in. Look, there he is. He's streaming.
Godfather 3.
Hey, speaking of which, do you have a Grail watch, Mark?
So I picked up a Grail-ish watch today.
Yeah.
Which we'll unbox later. But I will say, a few months ago, I had dinner in Philadelphia with Mr. G and the original OC. And OC wanted to wear my Omega for dinner. So for an hour and a half, he wore my Omega. And I wore his platinum day date with the ice blue dial.
Yeah.
And it might have been the nicest watch I've ever experienced.
You might have to fight Barbie Jeep for that watch.
That watch. Wow. Everything about that watch I liked. It was scary how much I liked wearing it.
It's a beautiful watch.
And it was a watch I never really thought that much about. Like, oh, I'd like to have one of those someday until wearing it that day.
So that would be
That
maybe your Grail?
The $60,000-$70,000 Grail watch, yeah. It would probably be it.
Yeah. They're beautiful watches for sure. I'm not sure if there is now, as a matter of fact, Jen and I were talking about this before you guys got on about kind of Rolex watches. And I said, there's a bunch of Rolex watches that I kind of find boring, but there are some that I don't. And she brought up the day date, and I absolutely agree that the day date may be A, the most versatile watch they make, and B, the best watch they make.
Yeah. It's a heck of a piece of kit, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's dressy, looks great with a suit, but hell, jeans and t-shirt, why not?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a fantastic all around. I mean, it could be a one and done, but I don't think you'd want it to be a one and done. Because to me, it's one of those watches that you want to kind of save for special events every now and then,
I really agree with Nate that I don't know that there is like a done or that I don't know that there's a finish line like where you
No.
stop looking or stop desiring something else.
Death.
Yeah, there's the finish line. Death. Way to go. Way
Always
to
You're
on the hunt
you're
for the next
officially
one.
done.
way to brighten up the damn show. No, I'm not. I'm taking them to the grave.
I could set up something in my will where people have to go and buy watches with the money I left them and drop them in my grave.
Here's that Rolex you always wanted, Mark.
No,
Yeah.
my only fear about death and watch collecting is my wife selling off the watches for what I told her they actually cost.
Oh, yeah, that could be an issue.
No, it's a bad joke, but
Nate,
I do have a specific person that's named in the will that she needs to speak to when I croak to deal with the disposition of the watches so she doesn't get screwed.
Would you actually give her my number for when you die and just let her know that all of those prices you told her were correct? That Cartiers are just $10 a piece. Would you let her know that?
Look, that's how much they cost on Canal Street. So
yeah, there you go. Oh, don't worry, honey. It's not real. Don't worry.
So a comment for Mark. After trying on the platinum date 8, you said it's maybe the most impressive watch that you've ever had on wrist at one in your life.
Just the feel of it.
Sure. Look, I totally get it as somebody who owns at the moment today a day date.
Yeah.
I get exactly what you're saying. The problem for me when I think about it is as a grail, it's at some point I could go trade a couple of my watches and get it. And if it's that easy to get for yourself, it loses for me at least the concept of grailness. If it's obtainable, is it a ultimate grail? I mean, I understand the concept
I get what you're saying.
Attainable grail. Sure.
I'm a 12,000 and under guy.
For now.
So yeah, for now. So that's kind of where I like my little lane, and so would I? For me to buy that watch, I would have to sell a lot of my I would end up with that watch basically, and not be sick about it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally get it. I mean, it's just every time I've had what I would say is a grail, and then I wind up getting it.
Well, there's something else. Absolutely.
Then there's something else.
Yep.
So it just loses that. The word starts to have less meaning to me, at least when it's something that it just requires me to go to a place and hand over a credit card and potentially a couple of watches,
right,
to get the next thing. And I don't know if it's just it's just cynicism or burnout, or is it that there isn't such a thing as a grail? I just don't know the answer.
I don't know that there is, because I honestly believe that when you chase a watch, I bought a watch I wanted for a long time today. Doesn't mean I stopped wanting other watches.
Yep. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm coming from too. I've got a watch that I want to be my retirement watch, but it's not necessarily going to be the last watch I buy.
Right.
And I'll pull it up, and everybody knows what it is, I think, on the panel anyway. And I'll pull it up in a minute. But I kind of agree with I agree with Jen that if you define a Grail watch as the watch that you feel is the pinnacle of your collection, then yeah, I can see that. But I also agree with Nate and Mark, and to a certain extent Mitch too, that I'm not sure that there is such a thing as a Grail watch. There may be many Grail watches. There may be none. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about, do they even exist? At this point in my watch collecting journey, they really don't exist. I'm just kind of, where do I want to go next? And do I want to pull the trigger on something that's that kind of higher end, at least for my budget, something that's higher end, I just don't know.
In fulfilling my role as Captain Pedantic, it all depends on how you define Grail.
Yeah.
You can define it to fit anything you want.
That's true. And it is your definition.
Yes.
But there, of course, is the watch that I want to end up getting. Will it be the last one I ever buy? Probably not. But I would certainly slow way down after that watch, because I can't see a whole lot of other watches in my collection. I can probably name...
It's an Omega.
Yeah, I can probably name about 6 watches in my collection that I would wear along with this one, but not too many more. And that one would dominate wrist time to the point where I would only need like 5 or 6.
It's a great watch. I have owned that piece in the past, and it is such a fun watch, and fits nearly any scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I had the white dial version of that. It's really, they're beautiful. It doesn't matter. I saw they had the black one in the case just like that today on the bracelet. It's a beautiful watch.
Well, now when I go into the Omega boutique here in Austin, they all know me and they all know what I want. So it's like, do you want to see your watch? So just keep working on me, bud.
That's only my watch when it's being offered at 30 off.
That's right. Yeah, I want to see my watch. Are you giving it to me? That would be a no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun watch. It's really, really beautiful in person. That picture doesn't know justice, and that's off the Omega website. Really, you have to see that watch in person. It's absolutely gorgeous. A lot of people say they hate the bracelet. I'm fine with it.
It's really comfortable, but yeah, it's just dated looking.
It's dated looking, but yeah, like you say, it's comfortable.
I have a feeling that they will change the bracelet on that watch at some point in the next couple of years. As the factories in China get better and better at making them. No. Maybe. But I think that watch is going to change at some point in the next couple of years. Although I really don't imagine them changing the watch head significantly.
Yeah.
I mean, they've refined that piece over 30 plus years at this point. That watch first came out, 1993?
93 was that style, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's even changed since the original. The bezel's wider, and it's a couple other things that they've done to it. But for the most part, yeah.
I mean, it's been changes by degree, like a Submariner, frankly, and maybe even more consistent than a Submariner to some extent. But it really is just a great all around watch. I hope that you get it soon.
Me
and then
too.
You can tell us if it feels like a Grail.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be soon, but it'll be one day. I want to get it by my retirement. That's still 4 years away. So we got a ways to go.
So I'm wondering if a Grail is, it's not a monetary thing. It's not necessarily an emotional thing. It's just like a watch that you really like, but is so difficult, not just because of a financial reason, but just so difficult to find that if you were ever to actually be able to get one, it would be just to some extent like a miracle that you could find it, like something that's just so completely that it's the red Guilloche, Milgauss
Oh, a watch they never
of
made. Yes.
well, no, I mean, like so people talk about the whether or not like the Blueberry GMT was ever actually made by Rolex, or whether those Blueberry dials that people show up with a watch with from time to time are just manufactured by them.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at it going, maybe it's just purely a being able to get a piece unique. I mean, like Marco did that great video, just to plug the Berdine's channel. He does some really great content. He did a 10-minute video today on the Lange and Zone Grand Arcade, and commented that there may have only been one of the version that he had in his hands, because it had been fully hand engraved on the dial.
Wow.
Okay.
And you're just like, oh, well, you know what, that watch, either it doesn't really exist, like potentially the Blueberry, or there's only one of them. If you like it and there's only one of them and you're able to find it, is that, I mean, to some extent, when you think about the search for the Holy Grail concept, it's not like it's because there's only one of them. And I'm wondering if that to some extent is more of a grail, rather than just saying it's the most expensive watch, or you just don't think you'll ever be able to afford it. It's just you'll never be able to find it, and if you did, you'd do whatever it took to actually get it at that point.
Yeah, that's a good thought. We've got a couple of super chats here. Thomas Burnett with 2.2 pounds. Sorry, I think Grail watches exist. Do exit watches? To me, exit watches don't exist either for collectors. They may exist for people who are not watch people, not in the hobby. I think that's where you get into the, you talk about people one and done watches. If you're not a watch collector, you may just have one watch and that's the only one you have, and you're happy with that.
Or maybe you stumble into the hobby, play around for a little bit, and then you're like, I'm going to get a new hobby. And
yeah, so that could be it. Not sure though. I don't think exit watches as a clear definition exist. At least not for watch people.
Yeah.
Well, it would be against our mental illness.
Yes.
True. Although I expect at some point I will have an exit watch.
Yeah.
At some point it just is, while you still may love collecting watches and you still may pick up a piece from time to time, the exit watch is sort of the end of your obsessive collecting journey.
Yeah.
What's that? There's that meme of like the life cycle of a watch collector. At one point, near the end, it's just sell everything and buy a sub.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the one after that is death.
Yeah. For some reason, I think that your exit watch might be the one that you buy, that your wife finds out the real price and then kills you.
Look, if I survived telling her,
I was gonna say that would have been the watch that he bought while he was in the car. If that was the case.
That would have been it.
That I accidentally bought a 5960 while he was driving up 95, and I got to figure out what to do because I actually have to pay for it, and I'm not dead yet.
I guess you're good.
She really does love me.
Duco, $5. Robert, you could get it on the rubber and save up and grab the new mesh bracelet. Looks good on the mesh, I think. You're right. It does look good on the mesh. My biggest gripe about the mesh is that the way that Omega makes it, you've got a whole bunch of mesh kind of folded in on the bottom.
It's really not that bad.
But yeah, it's not that bad. So yeah, I would certainly consider that. Or get it on the bracelet and get a rubber and a mesh and just trade it out every now and then. Wouldn't mind.
They better put a quick release on that thing. It's a pain in the ass to change the bracelets on.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It would be nice if they would. We've got Trap Vision is in. evening, watch people. Trap, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry I missed your live this morning. I saw it and you were already 65 minutes in, and it's like, well, that's over. So sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm trying to catch up on chat here. We've got Chris. Whoops, not well. We'll look at John D's and then we'll go to Chris's. From an emotional perspective, a Grail should have you so emotionally spent if you acquired it that you would have to sit down and ponder how the universe aligned in such a way to let this happen. I love that.
Sounds like that could require Prozac.
Yeah, maybe. Or a little LSD, one or the other.
If that's the standard, then I've found mine. That random day that I walked into, a Rolex AD down in Miami, after calling the day before, saying, just in a just lousy mood because my AD had an item and had been stringing me along for months on it. I just called down to a dealer in Miami or an AD in Miami and said, "Do you have anything that might be precious metal and maybe a stone dial for me to look at, even if it's just to look at? I'm not asking to buy anything, although if you had something, I certainly would love to." And then walked in and they just handed me an Onyx date.
Yeah.
And it literally took me like a couple of hours to actually
recover.
It took my credit card longer, but
right.
But
yeah, your credit card's on fire at that point.
Yeah. So the story of what happened with my credit card that day will go down in history. But it took me like a good half an hour to just wrap my brain around the fact that I just randomly called a Rolex AD, asked if they had any, very unique, special dial, day dates, maybe stone dial for me to look at. And the comment was, well, we really can't discuss what our inventory is. And I'm like, well, of course you can't, because you might as well just tell me what time you guys show up and what the safe combo is too. And then it was just there. And I could not get my brain wrapped around the fact that just happened. So
cool.
maybe that is, just the emotional reaction to actually finding it is what makes it a Grail.
Yeah. Current generation Seamaster Professional 300 is beautiful, but it'll be even more adored going back to 41 millimeter ETA movement thickness and a slightly less pronounced helium escape valve. So the helium escape valve to me is what makes the watch. But I can see your point about shrinking it a little bit like they used to have it back when the watch first came out. So I can see your point. I kind of like it at 42, but I can see your point. And we lost Mitch and his cell phone. I'm sorry, not Mitch. Nate and his cell phone.
Oh no.
I'm still here.
Yes, I know you're still here. Let's see how we're doing on upvotes.
I'm shaking my head at this smaller watch comment.
Yeah, we figured you would. Let's see
here. Yeah, you're so oppressed. You like 43 millimeter and above watches. It's not like
it's not
every watch on the planet hasn't been made for you.
43, 44, they can all be good.
We're not trying to make you extinct. We would just like to have some watches.
He's trying to shrink the Seamaster.
He's not getting rid of the one that you like, though. He's just trying to get him to make another one.
Yeah, and quite honestly, making another Omega to add to their already massive catalog wouldn't be a big deal. So we've got 29 upvotes. We've got 53 watching. If we can get one more upvote, we'll have our first unboxing.
Oh, come on.
All right.
It's free to watch. Come on. Click the thumbs up, guys.
For our first unboxing.
Show the love.
And Mark's got a Grail level watch, and I would probably argue that Mitch does too. So we're talking about Grail-ish. We're talking about some big time unboxings, folks. So let's get those upvotes in and let's get our first unboxing started. Then
Oh.
right after that, we can have our second unboxing, and we have 33.
Ooh.
So while we are unboxing the first one, keep those upvotes flowing so we can unbox the second one. Now, the big question is who goes first?
I'm sure Mitch's watch is better than mine.
Not
Rochambeau.
necessarily, but I'll go first because
Are you sure?
I'm a trendsetter. What can I say?
A trendsetter.
Now, let me get you in the position.
It's
There
good
we
that Mitch is
go.
going first, so we don't get to see another Omega immediately.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not
All
sure
right,
it's an
well,
Omega, though.
In this case, the box is an immediate giveaway, at least to the brand. But so what the heck?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He gave in.
And
He done did the reach
Oh,
for the
God.
crown.
The crown has roped him in again.
could this be the first symptom of crowneria?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
probably so.
Yes.
See your doctor immediately.
Yes.
Take
Yes.
2 Pateks and call us in the morning.
Oh my God, it's crowneria. All right.
It's a medium box, so everyone can place their bets as to what it is.
Yes.
Not a medium box. That's
That's for
Duco's
Duco.
box.
Yes.
It is the basic Rolex box.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know enough about. I haven't been infected with enough crowneria to know my box to watch correspondence yet.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be an 8796R32. I'm really
Whatever.
good when it comes to reference numbers.
I'm going to guess that it's an off-catalog gem set Yacht-Master 2.
All right. So here it is. It is.
Oh.
Hey.
It's the
Well, you got the Yacht-Master part right.
on white gold on oyster flex.
That's
Nice.
beautiful, man.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Great.
That's
choice.
the 42, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just your size, Mark.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful watch.
Yeah, it is. I figured, it's been a while since I had a Rolex in the collection. And so I went for it. I sold some watches and voila.
Very
So
nice.
I wouldn't say this is a grail. It at some level, I will probably sell this at some point because it's just not that interesting. It's really nice. It fits really well. It's going to retain value, but at some level, it's sort of boring.
Yeah, but you know
Is
what?
this a Marco special?
No.
You know what, though?
I come from Marco. Although
Mitch,
Marco just bought another watch for me, so the proceeds of that will be redeployed relatively soon.
Well, I can tell you that Rolex sells millions of watches, and they sell so many because they're boring.
Yep.
People like simple, basic, boring.
Well, you can wear them with anything.
You can wear them with anything. They're unoffensive. They're beautifully finished, beautifully decorated, but they're pretty simple, boring watches, and that's what sells.
Yep.
Honestly, that's what I think we all want for the most part.
It's the pumpkin spice latte of watches.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, they definitely came across the magic formula in terms of marketing and sales.
Yes. Most definitely.
Well, and
if
that watch in the white gold is fairly hard, like rare to see.
Yeah.
Most of the people have the yellow gold or the rose gold version of that.
So I've had my eye on this one for a while, simply because for a boring watch, it's relatively scarce.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is great looking, man. Congratulations. That
Congrats.
is a wonderful, wonderful watch.
Yes, congratulations on spending money.
That's right.
This is
Absolutely.
the spending money support society.
So we've got 40 upvotes now. Keep the
Ooh.
upvotes flowing, but we're going to switch things around here and put our man Mark into the position.
Uh-oh.
Hot seat.
Uh-oh.
All right, so I have a bag.
Nice bag.
I
Good
know.
choices.
So this is a new AD purchase.
Do you
Joyce's
own Joyce?
is his drug dealer of choice, by the way.
Yeah,
everybody.
Joyce's
Yeah.
is my Omega drug dealer of choice.
Do you own Joyce's yet? You should.
Yeah, I know, right? So here's the
He's
thing.
part of the family.
Are we guessing?
I'm going to show these because if I show you the box, you'll know immediately what it is. So it is indeed an Omega.
Okay.
It is indeed a watch that I have wanted for a long time. And I had been eating my brains in trying to find a good deal on one a year or two old. And finally just said, hey, what will you do for me on that new one? And he said, well, I'll give you 20% off. And I was like, sold.
Okay.
Sold.
So it
I'm
comes
I'm guessing. Can I
You're
guess? It's
Yeah.
a form of a Speedy.
Ooh.
Because if you can tell by the box, it's probably a Speedmaster, is my guess.
Any
Or a
other
Seamaster.
guesses? Before
I got
show
a guess.
the box? Yeah.
It is a white canopus gold Speedmaster.
That would be nice.
No. Do you want to see the box?
Sure.
It's the
Okay.
rainbow.
Oh God. Mark,
So,
if you got the rainbow, I would die.
No,
Yeah.
I know what he got.
there's nothing. There's.
You got the NTDD.
I did.
That's the box for the No Time
Oh,
Yep,
the
the
no
slim,
time
the
to
slim,
die.
the slim box.
to die.
Nice.
I picked up the Omega Seamaster 300M. No Time to Die. I've wanted this watch for a long time. I don't know why. I mean, it's an expensive Seamaster, so I've been trying to find a deal on one unsuccessfully. But
It's a nice watch.
it's a beautiful
Yeah.
watch. It's really light. It is 42 millimeters. It is only 13 millimeters thick, though. It is like 0.6, 0.8 thinner because it does not have the exhibition back.
Tape a silver dollar to the back of it if it makes you feel better.
And it just, I've always liked this watch.
It's
Does
a
that
no
have
date,
the
right?
back-
It's no date.
Okay. Does that have the
And-
back on it that does the spiral thing?
No,
No,
that's
that's
the
the
60th.
60th. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, this one has, the only thing on the back of this one, and in fact, let me open it up. It'll be easier to show you.
Oh, okay.
The broad arrow, the double, that's the only place the 007 is on the back. So it
Okay.
doesn't,
Okay.
and it's got the what do they call that? The NIDA lock. So it always goes back to that same position when you close it. Another cool little thing. It says Omega on the tip of the
Oh,
mesh.
nice.
Yeah.
Just the tip.
Just the
Yeah.
tip. Just the tip. But it's a watch I've always wanted. We talked about this a few weeks ago, and I was trying to find a deal on a used one. And I found, and I think it's because people think it's going to be discontinued. People are kind of holding out on some of these.
Yeah.
And looking for bigger money. So the watch list for 10.6, I got it for like 8,500. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and by the way, I mean, yes, I've seen those for, on the secondary market for less than 85.
Yeah.
But for a brand new one,
Brand new one.
yeah, I mean, there's only so many times you could just say, well, I'm going to go get a pre-owned watch, and I'm not going to spend the full retail, blah, 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 blah. I mean, what were you going to save? $1,000 and get a
Exactly.
pre-owned one?
Exactly. And then part of this watch being a little more difficult for me to buy pre-owned is I want to see the back of it real good, because I want to see inside the case. I want to make sure that it's not fake,
Yeah.
There's not bad parts in there. And since this one doesn't have the exhibition back, it's a little harder to do. So then you're vetting people more, and so it just seemed like it wasn't that much more to get the new one.
No, it really isn't. There at some point the secondary market, discount is diminishing returns. And I think the fact that you have an AD that's willing to, discount and give you a good deal for being a loyal, longtime client who probably has an equity ownership interest in the store.
Facts.
Should have one anyway.
It really should.
Did they take your temperature when you turned in the Oreo and the creamsicle?
No, because I bought other Omegas for the.
I know, but like that and the spy rate, I would have definitely checked your temperature when
they know what I'm
rate.
like. They know my illness, and I'm not the worst one. There's a guy there that buys and trades them every month.
Oh, geez.
Good Lord. So I
congratulations on intentionally purchasing a really nice watch.
Yeah, I know.
So tell me about the bracelet, because I was just griping about that bracelet.
You were just griping about the bracelet.
It feels thick, but that doesn't look too bad.
No, it's not that. But what size is your wrist?
7.5.
Yeah, so you'll be fine. If you have a really small wrist and you're up on the top thing, I can see.
Oh yeah, no, it wouldn't be like that.
But it's really comfortable. Now this one, I've had the steel mesh one because I bought it to put on my my Polar SMP, and then I put it on my CK859.
Yeah,
made the internet explode.
I liked that. I think that was one of the first times I ever saw you
really mad at me.
And I was like, I love that.
People were really mad at me. There's still people that talk to me over that.
Yeah.
But it's a little heavier. This watch on the bracelet is under 100 grams.
Yeah, because I mean, titanium as well. So yeah. And really, those titanium. And I've tried that watch on before at the boutique, and the bracelet is so well made.
Yes. So the company made the name Stide makes these for German company.
Yeah, it's an amazing watch, man. Congratulations. Congratulations to you both. We've had two freaking amazing watches unveiled this evening. We've had the Crown and we've had the King Omega. No, I'm just kidding.
Brian the Pipe is going to show up in about 15 seconds after you heard you say that.
He bought another Omega or another
Swatch Group
shitter.
I think you would approve of the No Time to Die, though. That's a good watch.
Well, congratulations to you both. Those are fantastic. And, I would certainly agree with Mark that could be somebody's Grail. And Mitch's watch could be somebody's Grail too.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I'll take
those
Mitch's
are
watch.
two heavy hitters. Yeah, really.
You will beat Mitch up for his watch.
No, I would never beat Mitch up for his watch.
No, but I mean the white gold Yacht-Master, that's a heavy hitter.
That's the first time I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and as far as Omega goes, I think the No Time to Die is a heavy hitter.
It is.
So
next time it's going to be the Rambo.
The Rambo.
Well, the one, if I were to get like an Omega dress watch kind of thing, and you would never go for this, Mark, because it's too small for you. But have you ever seen the gold meteorite constellation?
Yep.
Oh.
I don't even know what that constellation is.
Oh God, I tried that on I think 2 visits ago. Oh my God, that thing's pretty.
Yeah.
It's not it's not small.
It's
either,
not a small watch.
No, it's not. It's an integrated bracelet.
Yeah.
So it wears larger.
That is the watch. We were talking a lot about the SMP and the bracelet and stuff. The Constellation is the one I'd like to see a little bit of a refresh on.
There's so much history in that, though. I wish they would come out with a new version of the Pipe Hand.
Yeah.
Wish it wasn't the Globemaster.
Instead of the Globemaster.
I do like the Globemaster, though. That is a fantastic.
I had a Globemaster. It would be interesting if they came out with a Globemaster with a meteorite dial.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, blue meteorite.
Let's see. I think this is it.
Damn.
So this is the Sedna gold, which is their kind of rose
Right.
gold.
Yeah.
And let me bring it up.
And it's actually 18 karat gold. It's not that 9 karat bullshit.
Right.
That they
I know,
try to
right?
avoid some
Gold they
people.
did. Yeah.
Bronze gold, whatever
Bronze
nonsense
gold.
that is.
I tried on the bronze gold 300M today.
It is a beautiful
Cool
looking watch.
watch.
It is way too expensive for 9 karat gold.
I think it was 29 grand.
Yeah, it's like, or I think it was like 27 and change.
Okay.
When I saw it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, this is, I mean, because it's the No Time to Die style of Seamaster.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh, this is gorgeous. What is this made out of? Bullshit gold.
I know, right?
I guess that's actually the trademark name for it. It's bullshit gold.
Facts.
Inside the box, there's when you're digging through when you get home, there's a little card that says "Gotcha."
Yeah. 9 carats. So this is like half of regular gold.
Yeah.
I know, right?
But you're charging 85% of regular gold for half of regular gold.
Yepper. Well, this particular watch, again, the pictures do it no justice. I don't know who's Omega. Get a better photographer or something, or use better renders.
Still, man.
But in person, this thing is spectacular. Absolutely spectacular.
So, Mark, what Omega are you purchasing next week?
Let's see. We should probably get another Planet Ocean.
Are you going to get the Planet Ocean World Timer?
I do not like that watch at all.
I saw it the other day, and I literally looked at it, and I audibly said, "Why?"
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Somebody please justify this thing's existence.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 600 meter dive watch
with a world time.
With the
world time bezel.
The world time though.
Hey, you never know. James Cameron might need it.
Who knows? I'm dying of the bends. What time is it in Moscow?
Yeah, I know he never asked that. Rolex didn't make him a watch with a world timer on it.
Well, we've got a race coming up, folks. So if you want to get in the race, we'll give you about 5 or 10 minutes to get that race stuff in. You know what to do to get in the race. It's a super chat. It is a member milestone chat. It is a join the channel chat. It is a gift membership, or we'll pick out a couple at the end just for the fun of it.
So I have to ask Mark, because I don't know if we've ever had this discussion on stream. I don't know what else you have in your collection, because the only things I've ever seen you unbox or wear are Omega.
I have a lot of Omegas.
Why? What is and not as throwing shade, because I own Omega. I've owned lots of Omega over the years.
So,
but like you're like a one brand collector.
So when I started collecting watches, I started with Movados, tags, SEMA. I had 2 SEMAs, and then I had 3 Rolexes. I had a 36 millimeter Datejust Thunderbird with the gray dial and the white gold Romans. I had a 2-tone sub, which is the worst watch I ever owned. I went back to Rolex 3 times for different issues. and I trade that in on a two-tone 41 millimeter Datejust. And then I discovered Omega, and I really was like, wow, look, colors and styles and different cases, and not every dial has the same dots and slashes. And I was like, well, this is neat. I wasn't used to it. So I kind of became an Omega guy.
But you do have one Rolex, which you were wearing this evening.
The OP though, fresh from the AD, because I was actually going to buy another Aquaterra. I was going to buy the black lacquer Aquaterra, and my my Rolex AD was like, "We need to get you back into our Rolex." So here it is.
Yeah. Lucha Bedic, of course, Mark gave us a $5 super chat. Thanks, everyone. Congratulations again to both Mark and Mitch on some fantastic pickups. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
And to also to Bubba Hotep for finishing his collection of all of the animals from the Jungle Book.
Congratulations to Bubba. And so I mean, you were asking Mark about why he's so into Omega. I think the same could be asked of you. Why are you so into Cartier?
I'm not.
Because it's just that good. That's why.
I'm not. I just have 50 Cartier Santos Dumonts.
Because Cartier is the poo-poo. Take a big whiff.
The simple answer for me is I really have just grown to appreciate dress watches. I have other, I've got plenty of bracelet watches also, but I really most frequently wear dress watches. And I just don't think that I've seen any other maker that does design better than Cartier. I just have never seen any other brand that has such timeless design. And the Santos, all of the versions of it, other than the 100, which was the last generation before the current one, which were very big and bulky.
Yeah.
And it's very much of a time, the late 2000s into the 2010s. I just find them to be like just the most classic, elegant design, and they, even though it's very classic and it's very elegantly designed, it still fits on my bear sized wrist and doesn't look small. So and they just do unique things with what really just amounts to a simple design. Stone dials, yep. Gem set, yep. Any metal, you could find it, or they've done it. So it's it's a watch where I've been able to find one particular model that just feels different every time I see the next one that they have released.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where it's like but I collect a lot of different brands also besides Cartier.
Sure. Yeah.
And in fact, I think at the moment Cartier is, I think I have more of another brand than I have of Cartier. But it's just one that every time I see they've come out with a new one, there's something different about it that makes me want to own it. And I find them to be really affordable value wise for what you're getting. And I like the limited editions, and I'm able to find them, and that they're just perfectly designed watches in my mind. I could probably have 100 of them.
I would agree with you that I of all the Cartier watches, honestly, the Santos is my favorite. I think it's a beautiful blank canvas, and they do wonders with that watch.
I mean, it's very similar to what Rolex does with if you think about it, like the Datejust, the Day Date, and the Daytona, all have very similar, or in some cases almost identical, case shape and proportions. And that's a great blank canvas to do a bunch of different things. Then they have the same thing with the sports models. Again, it's a blank canvas to do different things. But yeah, that's why I have too many Cartiers.
Yeah. No, they're beautiful watches, man. I'm not criticizing you in any way.
No,
I just
know.
wondered what led you to love that brand and that particular style so much, and they're awesome. I mean, I also like the Cartier tank, but I think the tank is, I mean, it's very simple. The Santos, I think you can do more complicated things with. You can do more dials with. You can do more open work with. I really think the Santos is a better. And quite frankly, I've tried both of them on, and the Santos looks better on my wrist. So
yeah, and again, right now, whether you like the more sportier version of it, like the Santos de Cartier,
right,
which I have on a bracelet, and it's again just design wise perfect, and the technology that they've now added to it with the quick release and the multiple straps, makes it very versatile. And then you have the Dumont, which is just, dress watch perfection, in my opinion.
yeah.
So I plan on buying more.
There
None
you
of
go.
them are my Grail.
We want to welcome Mr. Robbers. Hello, gang. I caught a live. Good to hear your voices. Mr. Robbers, welcome. We're glad that you're here. Let's see. There was another one oh, yeah, Julius Caesar. My dad is a Longines man.
I do love Longines too.
Dad has fabulous taste.
Yep.
I love Longines as well. I have two beautiful Longines and could always use more one of these days, but yeah, they're fantastic watches.
I don't think they get enough love.
No, not at all.
It's because they're stuck in the Swatch group.
Yeah, you got
but
that.
But they
right.
understand their lane. That's the thing that I love about them is they're not like a Blancpain. No offense to them because they make a fantastic watch, but they realize how much they can really get for a piece.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not going to try to charge 10 grand for this watch. It's not going to go,
Well, we are going to start to wrap it up here. 2 minutes till the race. So if you want to get in the race, drop that super chat, member chat, all the rest of the chatty chats now, and we'll get you in. And then we'll pick a couple here at the end once I get the race pulled up. So you got 2 minutes to go. Any final closing thoughts from anybody on the panel? Come up with something because I'm going to be busy. In other words, talk. Well, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
I'm with Nate as far as Cartier is concerned. I think for females, I think the Panther, it might be the best watch they've ever made, and it doesn't get the look that it needs to. It literally, I have a knockoff, and that thing goes with everything. And so I can only imagine what the real one is like. And they come in every version, so you can get them at a million different price points. But they're just a really, really great piece.
That's what I tell everybody. Anybody who who asks me, and probably people who don't ask, I'll just volunteer it. And if they're looking for their first, luxury dressy watch, I absolutely steer them to Cartier without fail, because you can find especially for, normies, who this very likely will be their one good dress watch, because they don't need more than one. Unlike all of us who are disturbed and probably have multiple diagnoses that have not been properly, made as of yet. I tell them, you know what, go buy a steel tank,
Yep.
or a steel, because that one they'll get on a bracelet.
Yep.
And it's steel, and you can get them for like $3,000, and that's a lot of money, but it's a lot of money that somebody can still justify if they're not a
Sure.
watch person for their
There's
really good dress
brand.
watch.
There's for someone buying an only watch like that, there's a certain brand cachet that comes with the name Cartier as well.
Sure.
You know,
and they come in every friggin' size. You
Yeah.
want a tank française, you want a tank, tank normal, you want
American,
yeah, the
asymmetric.
American. Well, I don't think I'm steering somebody to an asymmetric.
No, but I mean, you've got all
Cartier.
these different versions of Cartier. You can recommend it to anybody because you can hit every price point if you want to.
Yeah.
And
every size for every wrist of every gender.
Yeah.
Whatever is your personal taste, you like larger watches, you like smaller watches, you will find one.
Yeah.
And it's just so easy to find a great watch in that brand that you will like.
So I'm still adding names here.
yeah.
Mostly because it's not a
Jet.
Swatch Group's shitter.
So the Thomas Broadbent had a question for you. What's your take on the platinum versions of the Santos?
Oh,
how many of you own, Nate?
As the current owner of one platinum Santos Dumont at the moment, and a prior owner of at least two others, they are just great. And Cartier does not screw you on pricing for a platinum watch, which is just absolutely mind-boggling when you see the premium that other brands will charge for platinum. There's platinum Santos Dumonts. Most of those are limited edition pieces. The gold, I'll just use as an example, the stone dial ones, because I have the entire set of the 2023 stone dial Santos Dumonts. They did a red one, or a jasper stone in platinum. They did a jade in rose gold, and then there's some blue Dimitriite, or forgot what the stone actually is, in yellow gold. The gold ones were $17,000 at retail at the time, plus tax. They're unavailable now except on the secondary market. So $17,000 plus tax for a precious metal stone dial watch. Very reasonable, in my opinion, for what you were getting. The platinum one was 20.
No.
Or 20, maybe
Yeah.
21. That's not an unreasonable premium for platinum, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And also with the platinum ones, you typically will get a unique cabochon. You're not going to get a standard blue cabochon with that. They'll either do a ruby cabochon, in very rare circumstances, an amethyst. I've only seen that in one Santos Dumont Platinum limited edition. Friend of mine has it, and I covet it. And may, if he ever dies under suspicious circumstances, somebody
You may
would
end up with
probably
that
be
watch.
wise. somebody should send law enforcement to my house.
I saw you at Mitch's house that night.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and the thing is, they don't screw you with the platinum tax for getting it. And there's even more crazy. I bought a strap for my platinum Santos Dumont. I wanted to get a bright red strap to go with the jasper, or more like just like a bright red wine color that would go with the stone dial a little bit better than the strap that it came with from the factory. And I asked, okay, just because I'm gonna want to laugh, what would it cost me to get an extra platinum buckle for it? and they were like $600 for a platinum buckle. I mean, it's not a deployant. I mean, it's a Cartier factory platinum buckle.
Okay, so to interject real quick, Jeff got a platinum buckle for his FP Journe. It was $35,000 for his deployment.
God.
So yeah, back to your story.
I totally get it, because another Richemont brand that I happen to like is Longa, and I have a Ground Longa 1 in platinum, and I asked Longa how much it would cost for a platinum deployant, because Longa puts pin buckles on most of their watches, and it was like, I mean, it wasn't Journe money. It was like $9,600 for a platinum deployant. For that strap size.
I'll pass.
The goal. Yes. I was able to find one on eBay for $4, so I wound up getting it anyway. But the gold one was around half or a little less than half the price. And again, the difference in Cartier in platinum, 600 and change for the extra large platinum, the Dumont buckle, which is it's a pin buckle, but it's again $600. And the gold one was around $5. So
oh wow. Yeah.
Again, they're obviously making a lot of money, and they are the number 2 watch brand in the world in terms of, or Swiss watch brand in the world in terms of sales volume. So it's not like they're hurting for money, but they're not hosing you for that stuff. And I tend to reward companies that aren't just purely trying to hose you on everything.
So we've got a couple of super chats to end up the show, and then we will get to the race. So you guys be thinking about who you want to add. I've already added Julius Caesar because he's been very, very active in the chat this evening. So you guys come up with a couple other ones.
John D's been very active.
No, hang on just a second. Let me get through the super chats, and then we'll do that. Mark, you're rushing me. Mr. Roberts, $5 Canadian. I'll join another race. I appreciate the vibe, folks. Mr. Roberts, thank you so much for being here tonight. Trap Vision, $2, walking and listening to the best panel on YouTube. Thank you so much. You're a fantastic liar. No, we
I was just going to ask what
Trap.
channel he's listening to.
I know,
yeah,
right?
really. Wait, are you listening to Teddy Baldassar again? So we've got Julius Caesar, and who else did we want to add? I'm sorry, Mark.
Oh, John D. He's been very active tonight.
D. And let's do one more. Anybody have one more? Don't everybody talk at once.
I'm just looking to see who's. Throw them all in there.
Sure.
Let's continue to throw them all in races that he wins.
Yeah, that he wins.
Prizes because he's in Canada.
Hey, he's a good participant.
All right, let's get this all set up. And,
can we race hippopotamuses?
you know what? There may be some in here, but I've only got access to 3 different animals. So
okay.
I don't have access to all of them. So I'm not sure. Let's see. Bubba
Hotep is now having twitches at the concept of only having access to 3 different kinds of animals.
I know, right?
I know. Well, tonight we're horses. We'll do something different next week. But if we're all ready, here we go.
And they're off.
That's right. Everybody's pretty much even, as they always start pretty much even. Julius Caesar and Trap Vision taking the lead, which is bad news for them. Duco, Mark, Mr. GMT, Mr. Robbers, Thomas Burnett, who always stays up way too late for us, but we thank him for watching every week. And they're starting to fade. Trap is still hanging in there, but he's starting to fade. Julius Caesar still up front, but here comes Mr. GMT on the outside, and here comes Duco. between Duco and GMT. Who's
Mrs.
going to win it?
Duco, let him hang
Who's
out
gonna
with his
win it?
friends tonight.
Who's going to win it? Duco! Congratulations, Duco. We really, really enjoyed having you guys with us this evening. Some fantastic unboxings, y'all.
Absolutely.
Congratulations again to Mitch and to Mark with his No Time to Die, and Mitch with his gorgeous white gold Yacht-Master. Fantastic.
Congratulations on your financial irresponsibility.
That's right. Just wait 2 weeks. I'll be financially irresponsible with you. We also want to thank Jen for joining us as well, and Nate, the ghost of Kiyoshi Gambino. And we want to thank all of you folks for being here as well. We will take you out with a little Mr. GMNT, and we will see you next Tuesday night. Good night.
Come and get it! 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 You won't regret it in 2022 at Tip Top Snack Bar!